It's not a really funny topic this time, is it? We can't really make a joke about this one. Welcome to the North of Mouth podcast.
Yeah, from me too. That work?
So Harvey Weinstein has been convicted of
Yeah.
2 sexual assault cases.
Only 2.
Yeah, I think there was. I think they do it a bit different in America, and I think they tend to. It's done by state as well.
Ah, right, okay.
But these are 2 that I think the prosecutors had picked 2
Because they knew
that it would go through. But I think he's got off of the more serious options that were
All right, okay.
the serious charges, because they have a different way of doing rape as well, because where we would have rape, they have like 1st degree rape and 2nd degree, 3rd degree rape. It's just rape is rape, really, isn't it? That's a good quote, isn't it?
Yeah, that would make a good soundbite with that. I sort of get it if you got your 1st and 2nd degree, if it's planned or unplanned. But it's been like a systematic abuse of the system for decades.
He is the epitome of like the sluggish, like horrible couching couch producer. Like, sit on that.
That's where it's
sit
come
there,
from.
Suck my dick. You know, it is literally
he is where it's come from.
100%. He's
coerced sex and sexual favours out of the entire industry for decades, haven't they?
And I thought it was. I remember when all this came out, and genuinely, I'd kind of forgotten about it. I thought he was never going to get convicted.
No, I thought they just brushed it under the carpet and hoped everybody forgot about it.
It was 2000. The first case was in October 2017, when the New York Times put out a thing saying like allegations.
Yeah,
and that's when it started. And then
but for decades before that, there were bits where they'd said in interviews, "I will not work with him," but they knew if they came out about it that. You know, they'd never work.
It's the weird thing. All these people that have thanked him in their acceptance speeches, and then now
just
come
miss
back.
him out, wouldn't you? It's
they've come out now, you know, and gone.
I sort of get it, because you say the same about Jimmy Savile and most priests and politicians and whoever else is doing this, because it happens all the time.
Yeah, but it's that kind of world. What I thought was really. We can't even think the same way as... We can't even get into that way of thinking that you wouldn't even consider... I mean, I know you're not a woman, but...
Not this week.
Not this week. Tune in next week.
Yes, well, I may identify as something else.
To go into a meet your potential sort of boss and wants you to sleep with him.
To get that job.
Yeah. And then... If you've done that, to then go away, get plaudits for your, get a praise for what you've done,
and thank them for it,
and then go thanks for that.
Yeah,
it's really, really bizarre. And then to come out afterwards and
would it
say,
not depend on how much you were being paid?
True.
How much would you have to be paid to do that?
You're sort of investing in the future, though, aren't you?
Millions.
It's not just that, because you could be
It's not like
you could be a star.
It's not like they're sucking a dick to get a job at Aldi.
No.
It's for a multi-million-pound contract. Everybody's got a price.
True, but he had disclaimer, like agreements.
Yeah,
with people.
non-disclosure agreements and things like that.
Which is mental. Which is absolutely mental. But go on, sorry.
What do you make about the whole pretending to be a cripple for his court appearances?
Yeah, and then being arrested and walking out normally.
Yeah, absolutely fine. And then as soon as he gets charged and convicted, he's having anxiety attacks and he's in hospital now.
I've heard it from several people that they don't think he'll make prison.
No, he'll either kill himself, like Epstein, or he will be raped to death, probably.
Yeah, but if he even gets to prison, but these 2 cases aren't even...
Just tip of the iceberg, aren't they? There's hundreds and hundreds of people.
Well, all these people came out. I'd not even known some of these people had actually come out and said stuff, but like Lena Headey had come out and said stuff. And some of these might be like even the is it Lupita Nyong'o? From she was in 12 Years a Slave and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. She
come out and said stuff. There was Cara Delevingne had said that he'd been appropriate. Loads of it. I mean, they're just people that I hadn't even heard of. Daryl Hannah in the Kill Bill films, he kept like.
Yeah, there were a lot of them where he'd call them into a meeting and he'd just be sat there wanking when they walked in, which was just bizarre.
Or in his bathrobe,
Yeah.
and then ask for a massage.
Yeah, that...
It's a very...
It's a weird situation, but he's been doing it for years and years and years.
But the whole casting couch thing is because of him, isn't it?
Because of him.
They were saying, I can't see... I know we always think this whenever there's celebrities and they're going to get done for something, but the possibility that you might get 25 years or something like that.
He'll never get 25
years. He'll never get 25 years, no. I mean, saying this now, we'll just come back and cut this out, but...
Yeah, he'll probably die in prison.
If he even gets to prison.
Yeah, if he makes it there. He's in a prison hospital, but he'll have it pretty cushy in prison.
Mm.
It'll not be like a drug dealer going to prison in a real prison. He'll be in the nonce prison. He'll be in the pedo wing, won't he?
Yeah.
Where they're all pedos and they're all nonces because they can't put them with everybody else because they'll get murdered.
But he's such a bit... He has looked like he's aged quite a lot, though. I know he was
but how much of that is a set-up? How much of that is when he goes to have his makeup done in the morning, make me look old as fuck, dye my hair grey, give me that Zimmer frame, I'm going to try and get some pity off the jury.
It really, really was when he was walking out on that Zimmer frame.
Yeah, all right. And then there were pictures of him golfing the next day, totally fine, walking around a golf course. Has he been bailed? Just...
Yeah. He surrendered his passport, I think, and all this stuff, so he couldn't go.
Couldn't
but
leave the country.
Sure, I didn't even think they'd put him out on bail, surely.
Yeah, because he's not I don't think they classed him as dangerous at the time. Obviously now it'll be different because he is locked up, but yeah, like you said, the running joke of the casting couch, or when a young lass goes and does the driving test, make sure you put a short skirt on, a low-cut top, or young lasses always get served first at the bar or stuff like that. It all comes back to this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I find it really confusing, and obviously, like, nothing's ever happened to me as far as
shocker
sexual stuff. I know.
Virgin.
But I always found it a bit strange how people never
don't just say at the time, "Well, this prick's just tried to force himself
I understand.
on me. This prick's just tried to rape me." Yeah,
but do you know what? I don't. At the
time,
if
the first person he'd ever tried this to had turned round and gone,
fuck off,
I'm ringing the police.
The thing that I think is weird, that if you're presented with that situation, now bearing in mind this is a difficult one to talk about because you immediately get sort of jumped on for
not jumped on like Harvey Weinstein,
exactly, people, in a bathrobe.
Yeah,
but to be presented as an actress, a young actress, presented with I've got I'm going to do this, or I don't get the job.
Yeah.
And to choose doing that as opposed to
your morals.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but the way showbiz is and stuff like that would be an option to not just turn around and go fuck off.
Yeah, because it is a very elitist society. Everybody wants to be an actor, so there's so much competition, and the next lass will do that and get that role.
But it's mad.
Yeah. It's totally insane, but apparently it's the nature of the industry. I don't think he'll be the only one.
Oh, no. He's just
once he's fully convicted, probably once he's died in prison, and it sets a standard of they are accountable now. There'll be hundreds of people coming out, about hundreds of other people.
I lost count of the amount of people that...
Yeah, famous big names.
Yeah.
That he'd either done stuff with, tried things with, wanked in the fit. I don't really know fucking what were going on, but
it was mainly bathrobes and
massages. Which,
I mean, he really is fucking vile.
He's an unpleasant looking person. He looks like the person they based Jabba the Hutt off.
Yeah, a slightly shrunken down version, but yet still looking like a bit of a scrotum.
Still as unpleasant. Yeah.
But to be presented with that option.
What would your price be?
Do I still have to sleep with Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, yeah.
Full works.
Yeah.
Full works, massage.
Yeah.
Massage, blowjob, sex.
Yeah, what would your contract price be?
See? Even I'm considering it.
Everybody's got a price.
I'm considering it.
I'm not justifying Harvey Weinstein, don't get me wrong. He's totally out of order for everything that he's done. But everybody's got a price. If they said you're going to be the next Harry Potter, and you'll get however many fucking hundreds of millions that he's ended up with. You'd have to think long and hard about it.
But I always think in those situations, surely he could surely he goes, "You suck my dick, I'll give you this movie," and you do it, and then afterwards he could just go, "What movie?
Only joking."
Yeah. What's to say he doesn't do that?
He probably did do that. But he had a name for himself for doing this for years as rumours. So he must have followed through on the majority of it, because that's when you would go,
Followed through.
I was coerced into this. That's when you'd go and I was robbed out of this movie role because I don't know, was shit.
What shit at the performance?
Maybe,
at
I
the
don't
massage.
know. Yeah. Yeah, it don't bear thinking about.
I'll get back to you on the price.
Don't ring me.
Have you got a price?
Everybody's got a price.
What's your price? You've got 7 Harry Potter films.
There is 7 Harry Potter films.
You've got 7 of them. You're gonna be in all 7 of them, even if your career doesn't it's not just you're not doing it for one film. You're doing it for a franchise.
What did Rupert Grint get? He seems alright. He's got hovercrafts and shit.
Hovercrafts.
Yeah, he bought a hovercraft.
Well, he was in all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever he got.
Are you already underselling yourself? You go, I won't go for the main role. I'll just go for the supporting.
Well,
you don't get away with any less.
Been in.
You don't get away with any less contact with Harvey Weinstein for it.
I don't know. Harry Potter money then. Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not? Never have to work again. Live comfortably forever.
Not that comfortably.
This week on Coronawatch, our recurring weekly segment of fear, death, and illness.
Should we change it to COVID-19?
No, Coronawatch sounds better. Yeah, current infections, 86,000.
First British death.
Yeah, first British death. They were very old, I believe.
Yeah, an old man. Now, the thing is, there's so many clickbaity things that say, you see it and you go, first British death, so you immediately go, fuck, it's in this country, someone's died from it, and
it was an elderly man on a cruise ship.
In Japan.
Off the coast of Japan, because they wouldn't let them in.
Exactly.
Which, they're not renowned for having fully equipped hospitals.
Well, the thing is,
cruise ships, not Japan's all right.
The Diamond Princess, it was a cruise liner, and it's kind of obvious that all those infections were gonna happen when you quarantine everyone, and not really. From what I understood, they didn't really do a huge amount.
No, it was stay in your room, but it weren't enforced. 17
days as well.
Yeah, that's a long time.
In a small hotel room, really, on a ship.
Oh, they are. I've been on a cruise. They're tiny, tiny rooms.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I looked at, so there's been a bit of a surge in Italy.
Yeah.
Cases and deaths.
And a massive overreaction by them.
Yeah. Well, I worked out my own percentages. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So there's been 21 dead in Italy from this, okay? Compared to the population of Italy, which is 60.48 million, okay?
Right.
That works out at 0.0003% of the population has died.
Which is, there'll be a lot more people that have died of flu in that time as well in Italy.
And falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
100%. Same with South Korea. So South Korea's got similar... that's got 51 million population and 813 cases. So similar, fairly similar...
Cases or deaths?
Cases.
Right, okay.
They've had 16 deaths in South Korea.
So again, nothing.
No, compared to the rest. But the World I can't even speak properly. The World Health Organization
the
WHO have given the global risk of very high. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, right. So I found statistics that said just shy of 86,000 cases. What that statistic didn't say is that nearly 50,000 of those cases are fully recovered.
Yeah, you never hear of that.
No, you never
hear that.
These 50,000 of these 86,000 people don't have coronavirus anymore. They're totally recovered. They're released back into society, immune from it. You're not going to get it again. Not COVID-19 anyway. So it's not 86,000. It's more like 40,000. Less than 3,000 deaths still worldwide, which is again drop in the bucket. 23 cases in England, not English people, and the one death, which again it's not an English case, it's a cruise ship case, totally different situation. What do you think of France's reaction? The banned gatherings of over 5,000 people.
Well, the first I saw was Switzerland have banned gatherings of 1,000 people, right? Which makes...
Is there many cases in Switzerland?
Just as a precaution.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense because that's how it start. A high population density in Wuhan, and that's how it sort of...
What do you class as a gathering? Schools have more than 1,000 people. We're closing schools?
True, but I suppose... I don't know, but what bothered me was that's 1,000 people. Yeah. Whereas in this country, we've just had Greta Thunberg come over to Bristol.
Oh yeah.
And a gathering of 30,000 people.
Yeah, plus concerts, bands playing.
Yeah, because that's
football matches.
Does Extinction Rebellion want to save the world by aiding the spread of a virus?
Well, like I've said last time, we probably do need a good
place.
Chunk of the population dead, Older people aren't going to be missed drastically.
Well, talking of older people, do you see the Pope sick?
Yeah, after greeting and shaking hands with a crowd full of potentially infected people all wearing masks.
Ash Wednesday, yeah. The way I saw a news article or a news story in America.
Yeah.
And of course they're well religious in America. And they're going, we don't want to spread any panic or alarm. But the Pope
is ill.
Has been seen sneezing and coughing.
The Pope's like 90 years old.
The Pope's quite old. But he was sneezing and coughing, and he's cancelled certain sort of gatherings or meetings or something.
Yeah. Pope shit.
But immediately they're just like they're absolutely trying to find every little bit of, like, say there's a bit in Iran that started to it's there, and there's all reports that they're trying to downplay their...
Yeah, and in these things about the news as well, about the Pope, they will mention the words coronavirus in the story 30 or 40 times without actually saying the Pope has coronavirus, because we can't say the Pope's got coronavirus, nobody knows now.
We're just heavily implying. That person's coughing. Yeah. That person's coughing. They've got it. Yeah. They've got it. We're all going to die.
And then it immediately, there'll be a sentence of it, the Pope's ill, blah, 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 this happened, and then the rest of the story will be about coronavirus. Totally unrelated to the Pope, if you look at it, but people don't. That's the issue. You were infected recently.
I was, yeah.
This is why it spreads. Do you want to explain what happened?
I was unaware of a gathering of people that were sick who decided to
wait until you'd
turned up.
Yeah, and sat down to eat, to mention.
Yes, and when people talk about projectile vomiting, now I get every cold under the sun, right? But I very, very rarely get stomach bugs.
You are off work a lot with
No, but with mainly colds and stuff like that, right? I don't get bugs when bugs go around. I don't often get bugs, and it made me think that the only time that I ever really throw up is when I'm pissed, right?
Yeah.
When I've had too much, and when you're throwing up when you're pissed, it's not really. You're just like, I feel better now.
You're sort of anaesthetised to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being sick when you're not pissed is quite terrifying.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
You can't breathe.
And I got up in the morning. I visited the toilet. Had some issues, but then again, that happens sometimes with taking that pre-workout, which I've said before.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really too concerned. I was in work for 7:30, and I felt a bit like there's a different feeling between the shit and throwing up.
Yeah.
It's like a different sort of part of your stomach.
Yeah.
And I thought, I feel sick. I actually feel like I'm going to be sick, and this isn't going. And I left it for like another 2 hours at work, and I thought, this is weird. And I said to my boss, I'm going to go. I said, I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to head home because this ain't right. So I was just saying this in a room with him, and then all of a sudden I just thought, I got to go. And I went into the toilet. Now, I'd not eaten anything either. I'd not eaten late the night before either. So Oh, another nice little plus point. I had done abs the day before and hadn't done them in a while, so quite tender anyway. So bear that in mind. Dash to the toilet. Never been sick at work, so this is fun. I just got into the toilet, and because I'd only drank water, literally just
pouring out of you.
Not pouring. The only way I can describe it is, you know, when the word that comes to my head, faucet.
Yeah.
I was a high-powered jet tap
of spew.
Yeah, and it was bright yellow because it was bile.
Yeah, bile and water.
Yeah, so blah blah blah, and I got up off the floor, and I looked in the mirror, and I thought I can't go back into the office to get my shit looking like, because I was like
tears, blood vessels burst, tears streaming, all of that shit.
Because it was like it was horrendous, and I went back in, and I just it was like, you've been sick, and I just So I went home, got in. I think I chucked up again, and I text Mrs. and said, been sick again. I thought, I'm going to time this, because normally when you get sick in those situations,
text her every time I'm
sick. I did.
Been sick.
I did, because whenever you're sick, normally if you get food poisoning, it normally wakes you up in the night.
Yeah.
And it all becomes a haze. And I almost wanted to check the recurrence, like when I was expecting it again.
Right.
And it was happening every hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
I'd chuck up, feel great, go lay down, thought, this is all right. Absolutely not me for 6. I felt like absolute dog shit, and I was such a pitiful sight on the floor. I was after throwing up 6 times throughout the day.
Yeah.
I was on the floor of the toilet upstairs, and I was fucking whimpering. Because it wasn't, being sick is it physically takes it out of you as well.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't
hack it anymore.
Nah, and it was shit. And then so the next day I just didn't barely move. But my God, so
self-isolate, people. If you're ill, stay ill.
Don't go to gatherings.
Don't go to gatherings. This is why there's 85,000 people with coronavirus, because I have got coronavirus, but fuck it. Me needing to go to Aldi is more important than that.
More important than spreading it to everybody else.
Me needing to go to my mum's for my tea. Miles more important than me having coronavirus. Just stay at home. Order a takeaway. Treat yourself.
So we're a little bit late to this one.
Yeah.
But I think the whole topic is worth talking about.
Yeah, it's Caroline Flacks' tragic suicide, but it's not just about her. It's about the whole, everything surrounding it.
Yeah.
I'd say.
The main thing of it's fair game to just tear someone apart on social media.
Yeah.
And then the hypocrisy of those same people then turning around, especially with news outlets like the fucking Sun and the Mirror and the Mail. And
Piers Morgan, your
I'm
friend of the show.
I'm getting to that cancerous polyp in a second.
Okay.
The same one. So she allegedly had a bust up with a partner and was...
she was embroiled in some sort of domestic abuse court case. She'd thrown a lamp at him and hit him, but he didn't want to press charges. It was whatever the acronym is for the
CPS.
Yeah, CPS, something like that. Was pushing for her to be charged, which I'm not advocating for domestic violence. You know what I mean? Blokes can be domestically abused, so can women, blah, 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 blah. That's not really the issue here. It's how it's been covered in the media. It was obviously very mild what had happened, or else he would have been pressing charges. Yeah,
and you don't know the ins and outs, but of course that doesn't stop every media outlet absolutely demonised. I mean, I didn't really... The only time I ever saw Caroline Flacks on stuff was back in the day when she was on Bo Selector.
Right.
So I wasn't a fan of hers. I wasn't a fan of the program she did.
I didn't know anything about the domestic abuse case that was going on, because I don't follow that sort of media. I don't watch Piers Morgan or The Sun or anything.
I had heard of the things that were going on, but it's funny how, and it's the same when Jay Goody died, right?
Is that the bald one?
Yeah, the one that had cancer.
All right, okay.
She was on that Celebrity Big Brother years ago, and then she got she came out saying the Shilpa Papadom stuff. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember the phrase Shilpa Papadom.
Yeah, so all this stuff, and that she was turned into like this absolute Nazi scumbag.
Yeah.
She gets cancer, and the exact same fucking news outlets. Poor Jade.
Angel,
Poor Jade. She's an angel from hell. And I just makes me fucking sick.
Yeah.
And I was glad that the Sun... I nearly said, I'm glad the Sun and the Mirror are getting flack off this. I'll skip that one. I'm glad that they were getting shit for this.
Yeah.
Because you can't get away with publicly coming around and going... Like, that scumbag, she better, I hope she fucking, dies. Oh, she's killed herself.
Shit. So let's delete all those stories.
Yeah, and that's what they were doing. That's what they were doing.
We'll just edit that to say, oh, yes.
That is what they were doing. They were deleting all the stories and stuff like that. And you know what else came out as well? When on ITV, after like a couple of days, and I think that Richard Madeley bloke was on this morning, filling in for a certain somebody. And... they were talking about it, and then he sort of turned to the camera and was like, just so everyone was aware, she was, ITV did offer her support beforehand, and, we're just washing our hands of any sort of blood that we may have. It wasn't our fault, bless her, we love her. Oh, that's funny, because I'm pretty sure cunts like Piers Morgan...
Yeah.
I mean...
vilified her, and... If
you look back, I'm going on him now. Go on his Twitter feed, right, and all you see... He'll come off self-righteously and go on about, oh yeah, the trolls killed her and all this stuff. They drove her to it. He's the biggest fucking troll in the world. Yeah. And somehow, every prick in this country turns around and goes, I like Piers Morgan. He's one of the... He says what we're thinking. No, he doesn't. He's a fucking twat. And he comes out and says all this stuff and then somehow manages to get away with tearing people apart and then somehow wiping his hands of it and go and being all self-righteous. He said shit about Caroline Flack, and then I saw clips of him the other day, and he's now using... So he was having a run-in with Jamila Jamil.
Is she off the radio?
I think so, yeah.
Storms is it on at Stormy Mayor?
And he'd been having a Twitter argument with her, and then he releases texts from him and Caroline Flack a year ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't read them though.
Basically saying something along the lines of, Jamila's been giving me grief. It's like, you piece of shit. You absolute piece of shit. You're going like, all this shit that like she's killed herself and all this kind of stuff, and now you're just sort of jumping on that and going...
I'll just make a note that we will have to come back and edit this if Piers Morgan ever kills himself. We'll have to cut this bit out. Hence, should be a hypocrite. No,
do you know what? I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I'm not going to turn around. I'll say this now. I'm not going to turn around if he ever did anything. He wouldn't anyway because he wouldn't be able to get a gun that's big enough to blow his big fucking head off. But he wouldn't. I wouldn't turn around and start going, bless him, bless him.
No?
I wouldn't. No.
I would, but only to aggravate you.
There'd be no eulogies from me for him.
You see, my point is I'm not advocating for Piers Morgan. I am aware of the trolling that he does on Twitter or whatever his media choices, but it sells. People read it. It shouldn't, but it's the viewers. It's your fault as much as anybody else's. The people that click these clickbait articles, the people that share them on Facebook, the people that say these horrible comments on whatever their media choices, they're as culpable as the media outlets, because if they weren't going to click on it, if they weren't going to buy it, weren't going to subscribe and comment and like, they wouldn't do it. There won't be a market for it. You'd have Piers Morgan ranting to himself.
The frustrating thing is you get people that go on to stuff like, The Sun and the Mail that have got that strip down the side, and they'll say, I only really look at the strip down the side. It's like these
all the sensationalised clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. I only click on them. But you're fueling that media outlet, and it's just shit. It's not even, there's no support. When's the last time? I remember like years ago when I was a kid, when they'd have like the 6 o'clock news or the 8 o'clock news or 10 o'clock news, whatever, and it wouldn't be 24 hours.
Yeah.
And they'd cover stuff that was going on, like if it was bad in the world, but then they'd almost finish on a nice story.
Yeah, there were always some sort of comedic, like if you open the Sky News app on your phone and you swipe all the way right to the end, you've got Offbeat, is one of the things, and it's like, man bakes giant pizza.
Well, that's not anywhere. I know that's like we were saying about no news, but like the actual culture online, I don't think that this is going to go and sweep away anymore, because mental health is such. I'm glad that we're making a bigger thing about mental health.
Yeah,
and actually,
it is a huge issue, and it's not well enough funded. People don't have the support they need.
But to think about it, if you were slightly at a point where you could be pushed over at the edge yourself, right? And then you've got thousands of people messaging you going, "You piece of shit! You're a piece of shit! Why don't you kill yourself? You piece of shit!" Like,
what, more people than usual?
Yeah, you've been getting those messages then.
Always, yeah.
I've been trying
thanks
so many
that.
different.
Yeah, thanks.
But like, who gets off on sending stuff like that?
My issue at the minute is Greta Thunberg, who we've mentioned in the past. A child, a very young child. What is she? 11? 16. 16. Quite important. Well, very important years in your life. And she's put herself out there for a cause, whether you agree with that cause or not, which you should, unless you're a fucking idiot. The amount of hate from middle-aged men, women, that seems to be the target. People that saying these vile, horrible things about a child. At the minute, she might not even realise the total amount of this shit that's going on. But over the next 10 years, even if she's forgotten about every job she goes for, they're going to Google Greta Thunberg, because everybody Googles you before you get the job. All this tirade of bullshit's going to come up. It's going to have a huge lasting effect on her life. And she is only a child.
Yeah, I know. The whole...
It's one thing doing it to an adult who's got legal recourse to do something about it, even though they don't really, because it's all in quotations and question marks at the end to avoid litigation. What are you doing it to a child? If she kills herself, are these same people going to be coming out, "Oh yeah, I'm glad. Let's burn some more plastic bottles and tyres. Glad she's dead."
What's the point?
Yeah, why get angry about a kid standing up for something?
Because it's an easy... We've all got... That's the thing. We are horrible.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I'm a cunt. I'll admit to that. Yeah, I am a prick. Yeah,
yes,
fair enough. Yeah.
You get... Because it's such an easy way of venting that people just think it's fair game to just do whatever they want. One thing I saw ages ago involved Tommy Robinson, right?
Friend of the show.
Yeah. No, it was a video where... I'm not advocating Tommy Robinson, but what actually happened...
It sounds a little bit like you're about to advocate for Tommy Robinson.
No. It was the way it was... Because somebody had gone on and was giving him grief online.
Right. And
they were saying stuff like, "You piece of shit," and you should kill yourself and all this stuff. So he managed to find out who'd sent it, and he met him outside this like shop or something.
Yeah.
And he just turned up with the camera and went, "Hi mate, have you been saying stuff about me?" And he knew it was him.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't go in. He wasn't going in with like loads of people. He wasn't going in threatening. He was going like, "Mate, did you say this about me?" And the bloke was like, "Oh, no, no." And he was like, he said, "Well, I've already sort of like spoke to your parents and stuff like that." And I think he was sort of,
I'll look for that.
What? And but that's the thing. You confront most of these people. There's no way that you would turn around and say most of this shit to the people if you saw him.
There's a Black Mirror episode about this.
Which one?
Hated in the Nation, I think it's called.
Remind me.
They vote for people should be killed or not online, and they're bees, little robot bees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then at the end, I think it turns out that they're publishing the whole details of the people that are voting on this as sort of a moral recourse of you're the piece of shit here, not the person that you've voted for killing for whatever little transgression they've made. Well worth a watch. Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is amazing.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. There's no it's such a tiny little thing. Like, think about when you brought about the Greta thing. She was a big name.
Yeah.
When she is a big name, but when she first came out, she was everywhere, and it immediately gets people going like, right, we got to find something that's like
Let's
we
dig
can
through everything that she's ever done.
Yeah.
Even though she's only a child, and we'll find some bullshit that she's done when she's 8, and we'll vilify her for this.
Mm-hmm. Same with, then they found out with the whole being on the train and all this
she
kind
had
of
a packed
stuff.
lunch. Well, she's a fucking child. She don't choose what she's eating.
Caroline Flack.
Yeah.
Same with that. She's done programs that I wouldn't be interested in watching.
No, we're not the target we're not a target demographic.
No, but from what I could see, she was good at her job as far as presenting. So she was good at her job, regardless of what she was presenting.
Utter drivel for the most part.
Yeah, totally. But you then look, people find this thing out, and they go, you piece of shit, you should fucking die, you should kill yourself. And that ends up happening. Another topic that I wanted to kind of go off of that is then the reaction of when something like that happens. Because it seems to be a badge of honour for people to come out, show a picture of themselves with the person and going, rest in peace, I knew them for a little bit. The one that really bothered me, like really, really bothered me, and I can't, maybe it's just a showbiz thing, but it just didn't sit right with me. And you can sort of weigh it up any way you want by saying, they would have wanted this or whatever. But
yeah,
do you know that Laura Whitmore?
No.
So she's I think she's on Radio 1, I'm not too sure. But when Caroline Flack got taken off Love Island, Laura Whitmore went on there to present it.
Okay.
So the series that we begrudgingly watched the first episode of, that was Laura Whitmore presenting that. And they were supposed to be sort of like friends outside of...
Right.
Like outside of work. And when she died, and then Laura Whitmore had posted these pictures about her, done this like emotional tribute on Radio 1, saying it's the papers, you've done this to, da, da, da. I thought, that's fair enough. That's all right. She was close to her. And then like a couple of days later, she's posting videos with like the Love Island finale, and she's dancing around and all this kind of stuff. And then I thought, like,
you're not grieving.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough, whichever way you want to sort of take, because, people do grieve in different ways, but I just thought it was really bizarre. It's almost like, is everyone looking? Is everyone looking? I'm really grieving. And, but life moves on. Yay, Love Island.
Yeah.
Like, fucking cancer. She's the third person on Love Island to have killed themselves.
Yeah. Then there's potential for another fourth, a family member of one of them, that the attention that they got, I think, as well. That was the best thing to come out of this, is that they cancelled it for 2 days. Yeah. Well, the best thing to come out of this entire thing. But yeah, it's a terrible programme. We've covered that in the past.
But the whole concept, the only thing that I quite liked, that whole Be Kind thing came out. Okay. It would just be nice to have, if you walk out on the street now and you walked along, you wouldn't bump into people going, you fucking prick, you piece of shit.
Not up
starting
north.
a fight with you. No, you wouldn't down
Not
south.
up north. You might in London.
What I mean is, it would be a nicer way. It would be nice to have the world of social media be a bit more like real life.
Yeah.
And it not be just... When you see constant things of Harry and Meghan and stuff like that, if you ever see any pictures come up about something that's happened, the shit on there is just... It's vile. It's all stuff like... I've genuinely seen ones where there was... someone had posted up a thing about them and, their titles being taken away. Also, Piers Morgan has torn into them as well. Massively, saying how much a piece of shit she is. Then you go down into the comments on it, and there's stuff like she should kill herself and her child and all this stuff, and it's like, really? Are you all right?
Is people screaming for attention? That's the issue. How many of these people need the sort of help that the people they're abusing need?
Maybe. Everyone's always looking for attention, aren't they? I mean, to be fair, we're doing that right now.
Yeah, that's all we do this for. Not the giant stacks of money that it brings us. No, just the attention from the 8 viewers that we have.
Great 8 viewers, though.
Yeah. Shout out to you, 8 people. You know who you are.
Shout out to Piers Morgan.
Yeah, it's all right to not be all right. Be kind. So, this week, on a hopefully more positive note, You've got a rant for us about trains.
So we slagged off HS2, or the train system in this country.
Yes.
We said how archaic it was.
Yes, we have done. We've mentioned that in the past. How HS2 should just be replaced by a 4-lane motorway, which would make a lot more sense.
Well, I have never missed Virgin trains more than I did last weekend.
Okay.
So to fill in, I went away to Edinburgh for my anniversary.
Yes.
And if you're ever planning on going on a train and using Transpennine Express, don't fucking do it. And I'll tell you why.
No, please enlighten me.
So, before, you could get to Edinburgh from Manchester or Preston in 2 hours.
Okay, that's pretty good.
2 hours,
Can't
yeah.
drive there that quickly.
Now they're not around anymore.
Yep.
Transpennine's 3 hours, 50 minutes is what it takes now, right? Okay? So we'd already prepared for this. We'd got some coffees. We'd already paid for seats that had a table, so we had the power. We'd put stuff on the iPads and stuff like that, so we had films to watch and all this kind of stuff. We were in Coach D.
Okay.
Really good vibes. We all just can't wait to get up to our apartment in Edinburgh. It's all good. Train comes in. Right, where's our carriage? A, B, C. That's it.
Oh.
There's only A, B or C. So you know me, like I've got, the patience of a saint. I get on the train and we're
short, angry man, Lewis is.
we get on there. We've got 2 big bags and stuff like that. And we sit down by these 2 seats by the bogs. Because obviously we can't just go to any...
No.
Our thing doesn't exist. And then we're looking at the thing on the screen and it says it's, like going to Edinburgh and all this kind of stuff. 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the journey, I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? Because it's like it's a priority seat that's right by the bog. So it's not, like, I'm not sitting here for 4 hours. This is fucking ridiculous. This woman comes in, tickets! So I go on my thing to show. And because I'm not allowed to, when I'm pissed off, I'm not allowed to interact with people anymore.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
She goes, sorry, we've got seats booked for, and the woman goes, let me guess, Coach D and E? I went, yeah, D. She was like, yeah, well, basically, they weren't working this morning, so you either get this train or we cancel the whole thing, so... And I was sort of ready to punch this woman right at this stage, right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'm still there with my phone out with the tickets on it. I thought I'm not even going to look at this cow because I think I'm not even going to start, because if I do, I'm going to shout at you.
Ruin your weekend
and your life. So she goes, where are you going? And then so Laura goes, we're going to Edinburgh. And she goes, oh, well, you're going to have fun. And we went, why? She said, this one's only going to, it's cancelled the last 2, so we're only going as far as Newcastle.
Oh.
So she goes, right, okay, so
how do I
get there? Yeah. She went, well, there's a train an hour later. Now, normally that is a pain in the arse, considering it's such a long journey anyway, but we did have tickets to go and see the Lion King in the Edinburgh Playhouse.
Yeah.
And that was going to, getting up there at the time we were going to get up there, we'd have about an hour to dump the stuff in the hotel room and get over to the Playhouse and actually see it. So it was a little bit fine, but whatever. She said, well, that's going to put us like in a... Is there nothing else? And she went, well, sometimes there's like we can do a crossover thing with like a ticket allowance with another provider or something like that. Yeah. So I immediately go on Twitter and I'm giving Transpennines a piece of my mind and saying,
because he's not allowed to interact with human beings. Sounds rude, but it wasn't her fault.
No, she was very rude. She said, well, this is the thing. She said, sometimes this, but I can find out, but I'm getting off at Leeds. Right, so again, I'm more and more frustrated. So I'm messaging Transpennines and I'm like, what the fuck? What are we supposed to do? So sorry for that, you can get the one that's like an hour later, So I'd heard about cross country. They do Newcastle to Edinburgh.
Okay.
So I go straight on to cross country, and I said, another train line has ballsed up the start of our anniversary trip. We're going up to see the thing.
Yeah.
What's the story? And to their credit, because it's not their fucking problem.
No.
That another train company's fucked up. They said they responded with, and it wasn't just a copy and paste shit. It wasn't just like a sorry. It was this person who I actually commended later on. I actually made a point of saying thanks for this. Said, I've seen The Lion King and I wouldn't want you to miss it. So on this occasion, I'm going to message the train manager. You can get on our train because it's another hour and a half from Newcastle to Edinburgh.
Yes, it's not it's not one stop.
No, exactly. So they said, get on there. You won't need to pay anything, but don't tell anybody else. Because everybody else went, just don't tell anybody else, which, you know, I felt bad about, but then I didn't. And while this is happening, we're sat on the train, and then there's these two teenage girls got brought down the train by this new operator that came on. She was like an older woman, bitter little cow that got on the train, and she brings them down, these two kids, and she stood them, taking them away from like another seat where the people are, where there's more people. And she's going, right, just going to warn you, you are being filmed. And she's basically saying, there was a bit of a misunderstanding. I think she'd gone and asked for, they'd got child tickets, or they were like 16 or something. And she said, and the kid obviously got, I mean, I've been in that situation before when someone with what they think is authority starts saying to you, and you're like a teenager and you're like,
nah, fuck this.
Oh, I don't know. Or no, like you're a bit like, oh, I don't know. And you get a bit sort of fuzzled. And this woman's saying it really loudly in front of everyone. She's going, so why are you getting all funny about telling me what date of birth it is? We said this and this is. Are you lying to me? Why are you lying to me? And I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm looking at Laura, I'm thinking, and she said, don't get involved. And I'm thinking, who is this person? It's not like it's a cop or anything.
No.
And she's going, I'm going to be issuing you with a warning or with a fine. Give me your details. And I was like, you're asking a fucking child what their address and fucking postcode is. Get fucked. I was getting to the point where I was going to get up and go, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you? And she's saying all this stuff, and it turned out that this girl did have the right pass, but she thought she'd been asked for something else she didn't have.
Yeah. And
she got all confused, and she's going, right, well, why did you lie to me then? And she's giving her grief as if she's like a teacher or something.
Giving somebody some tiny modicum of what they
see as power. As if they're like, yeah. And I just thought, you're a fucking ticket clipper.
Yeah, and which is a totally unnecessary thing nowadays anyway, because all your tickets they're online. You should just scan your tickets on the way on to the train.
Well, there we go. But so what turned out, so we got to Edinburgh, had a great time. Comes to Sunday coming back, we had.
Did you see Link? Did you make it to Link?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really good, really, really good. I recommend it. On the way back, we go for our train's supposed to go 12:24. From Edinburgh back down to Manchester, Victoria.
Yeah.
Tickets booked, seat, table, same as last time. We were checking in the morning to see if it was going. It was all fine. We go for breakfast. So the train's going at 12:24. We go out for breakfast. We check out, leave our bags at the hotel. Went this way, and we would be going back past the hotel to get the thing. So it was all set. It was all going to be good. It's all fine. About 10:30. While we're having breakfast, I thought, I'm going to check the thing here. Check it. They've cancelled the first two stops from Edinburgh and the next one. And it's not going to be in, and it's not, it's basically going from Newcastle. Okay? So I said to her, I was just like, you wouldn't fucking believe this. They've cancelled it again. Or did they actually? Yeah, so it would have been a total cancel for anyone that was up here.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not going to go. So we're looking for an alternative. And then we look, and the train that's before it was running, I think, 25 minutes late. So I said, we're getting on that one.
Yeah.
Regardless of where we sit, I'm sitting there. I'm not fucking moving.
Yeah.
We're going on that one. So we're waiting at the platform. We're waiting there. Luckily, Laura had the foresight to go, because it said it's coming in. It's expected now. It didn't give a platform, and then it just disappeared. Didn't say where it was. And then she made the deduction, this one's just come from Preston or something, so it's probably going to go back that way. So luckily it was. And then this operator, I don't know whether they were part of Edinburgh Station or whether they were part of Transpennines, but they were going like, this one to Manchester Airport. And she was like, if I have to say that one more time. I was like, yeah, you would, because you've not made it clear where you're supposed to get on, because it's not on the side. Job. Yeah, it's not on the side. So then we get on there. It's going to be going to Piccadilly instead, which isn't an issue because we'd be getting the tram. But it's going Piccadilly and then going on to the airport.
Yeah.
That was the route. So we get on it. We sat down on these things. Everyone else is looking at each other like this is a fucking shit show. And then it comes over the intercom. Sorry. This is Transpennines again. Transpennine Express. Shit. So just welcome to the service. Just to there's 4 carriages or four or 5 carriages. Just to let you know, there's only one toilet that's working because it didn't get checked in time, so there's only one that's available. Also, if you're in platform A or carriage A, you may be wondering why it's quite cold. We can't work out why there's no heating. And then we're all just looking at each other like, you get to a point where it's that bad that you start laughing. We're just like, this is so shit. Like, how is this comical. So shit? And we're going down. Now, it didn't matter to us that we were hoping to get to Victoria, but it didn't matter. We were getting to Piccadilly.
Yeah, you can get past that point. It's
on the tram. We were getting to
10 minutes
to Bury,
of tram.
right?
Yeah.
So then we get to what is it called? It's like the one before Piccadilly.
Oxford Road.
Yeah. And they go, just to let everybody know, this train will now not be making it to the airport because it was running so late that now we can't run the service. So sorry.
What?
And it made me think, right? Every part of our journey, and we'd spoken to someone at the Lion King who'd sat next to us, who'd come up earlier on in the day and had the same thing where they'd cancelled.
Yeah.
And it made me think, Transpennines have run a service this distance, but only do this.
Yeah, I want to do the middle bit of it.
Yeah. And then hoping that no one's going to get a refund. Like they'll hoping that people will just go, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to bother.
Oh, no, I'd bother.
Oh, no, we have bothered.
Yeah.
And technically, it's been 2 hours that we've, so you get a full refund. But
how are people supposed to depend on this to go to work? This is why we have a problem with the amount of cars in cities and towns.
Because it's so unreliable.
You cannot rely on public transport, be it buses, trains or trams. You can't. We don't run it. Countries like Japan, where the population density is far higher than we've got here, and if the train's more than 2 minutes late, you get a refund and a ticket to show your boss. Yeah. I was late because my train was 2 minutes delayed.
I'm pretty sure the bullet train was something like over a course of a year was about 13 seconds late or something like that.
Yeah. And we can't. We're much lower population density, an already well-established train network, which I saw a pic today, over 50% of our train network isn't used anymore. It's just been abandoned. It's there, just abandoned or ripped up. I get that it's Victorian, but everything's updatable, and it's got to be easier and cheaper to update it than build new. But we're still running like Victorian train carriages.
Oh, like, if you see some old things that go past, but you can't update carriages without updating what they run on.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Train tracks haven't changed.
No, but they should. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the bit that's Victorian.
Yeah.
All the ballast and, the sleepers and everything, they're all from fucking Victorian times. You can make the thing that sits on them all pretty and all nice and stuff, but if it's still running on a shit fucking thing...
Virgin made it work.
This is very true.
They were using the same tracks.
Very true.
Better trains, better service.
It's just all
cheaper
these
service.
Cowboy different providers.
So what you're saying that we should nationalise the rail service?
Well, that does worry me because anything that the government does is shockingly shit. I mean, if you've ever gone onto any .gov part of website, you'll realise that you need
a 16-digit code that you can't get.
No one ever knows, yeah. And it's the worst. It's the worst website in the world. So trying to book a ticket with them would be fun.
True.
But anything's got to be better than this. And it still makes me laugh how they turn around every single constantly go, "We're putting our prices up." All right, what do we get for that rise? One less carriage because we're saving the world.
Yeah. So, in conclusion...
Don't ever go on a Transpennine train. Ever.
Fuck public transport. Get a car.
Fuck Transpennine Express. So I sent you a story, which I genuinely thought I had to stop for a second and go, is this April Fool's? And then I thought, oh no, it's not. So Tesco's have brought out different toned plasters, right? Now when you think about it first, you think, oh yeah, I get. But I hadn't even considered at that point that plasters were
a thing.
Or toned to skin colour.
No.
Because, and this is where it gets, I think there's the backwards racism a bit here.
Yeah.
By going, you white people have got plasters that fit you. That doesn't blend into my skin colour.
No. Ironically, on the camera, it probably will.
Well, probably.
We'll see.
But that doesn't, you can see that it doesn't there.
Yeah.
But I hadn't even assumed that they were that colour to match skin tone.
No, I just thought I don't really know, because I work in the food industry, and every time I've only ever had to wear a plaster once since I started working. Every other time I just bleed until it stops bleeding. And fuck it off. What's the point of a plaster? But we have blue ones.
Blue ones, because if you're working in a food thing, yeah.
Yeah, why don't we just make all plasters blue?
But this is the thing. They are made blue, because I've worked in a kitchen before.
Yeah.
They are blue in case they go into food, and they're easily noticeable.
Yeah.
And this is what pissed me off. So this is Tesco's that have put this out, right?
Right.
They put out a video, and it's made to look like it's people that have sort of shot this video at home, going, "Finally, Tesco," or "Finally, I've got one that matches my skin color." And then there's one bloke on there, and he goes, there's been blue plasters before, so blue people can have them before dark people. I thought,
what?
Are you fucking retarded? Like that. This whole thing is just an opportunity for, like, we've run out of things to go, like, actually that are morally decent, and it's just a way for, like, Tesco's are going, let's create something so we can go.
I always thought the best plasters were the transparent ones.
Exactly. Why?
No, actually, that's bullshit. The best plasters are the dinosaur plasters. Hands down, I'll fight you on that. You can't get a better plaster than the ones with little dinosaurs on.
I never had dinosaur ones.
I
just didn't
neglectful
bleed.
childhood. Yeah.
One of the things that was put in this, because it was people in it that were, which makes it even better why it's so bad, this advert. There was people in it that were, because it was only black people that were in the video,
right?
And it was made to look. I thought there was just an air of, like, racism about it, because it was almost as if, like, finally we're being taken seriously and getting skin coloured plasters. Like I said, that doesn't match my skin colour.
How many times in your adult life have you put a plaster on and needed it?
I don't know. I don't know it down. But the point being,
it's not a regular. You're not using rinsing.
But it's making a point. It's making a point when there isn't a point to make.
To be made.
Like they start going, "We bleed too." It's not like you've never been able to use a plaster.
No.
There's nothing stopping you using any type of plaster. No one wears a plaster and going, "Oh, I can't even see it. Where's it gone?"
Thank Christ I can't see that.
Yeah. You can always see a fucking plaster on someone. So don't... This whole thing... Revolutionary. One of the people described it as. It's revolutionary.
I think people misunderstand what a revolution is.
Yes. 100%. Yeah, they never blend.
No.
And
even the transparent ones don't blend. You can see through them. You can see you've got a plaster on.
Yeah, but
it's not an issue.
But the whole air about it was to make it sound as if it was like
They've
a privileged thing.
They've been victimised for years and years that they haven't had these plasters.
It's a fucking plaster. Yeah. I genuinely, if I'd cut my finger and I was looking for a plaster, you know, like sometimes when you get like a bit like that keeps opening up and you keep catching it, you think, oh, just put that on there, stop it from.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn around and go, have you got any skin colour, my skin colour plasters?
Have you got any Caucasian plasters?
I couldn't give a toss if it was a bright yellow one.
Or had dinosaurs on it.
Or a dinosaur. I don't care. Kind of just more concerned.
I prefer to have a dinosaur one than a black one.
But this is
that racist? No, dinosaurs are pretty. Yeah.
It's not even. There was 3 different skin colours. Skin colours that I'm pretty sure I've never seen. All 3 of them.
Do you say black people? Is that racist? Black people. You've got light skin and dark skin black people. These plasters will not match either of those people.
They don't match anyone. No colour plasters match anyone because they're not. Yeah. They're not made of skin. No. They don't look. They all look shit.
If you're that bothered, get the spray on, clear stuff.
Or don't cut yourself.
Yeah, don't bleed.
Thanks for watching this episode of the North of Mouth podcast. Don't forget to head over to our several social channels and subscribe, and also like this video and subscribe to this if you haven't already.